Alrighty guys, super excited for our special guest, Barb Wolkins, the former drummer of Whiskey Blu and the drummer of Wicked Kiss. Welcome.
Hello guys.
What's up? What's up?
What up?
How's it going?
It's going. We actually had snow today.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't think it snows in Arizona? It's been 75 degrees. We've been wearing shorts and tank tops, and it snowed today. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Random.
But it's a dry heat.
I got you.
Whoa, does that ever happen this time of year there?
Well, in March, yes. I'm in northern Arizona. I'm more northern than Phoenix. Phoenix got rain today, but you can get snow in March and all the way into April up here. So it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. We need it. So.
I got you.
I've never heard of snow in Arizona.
Oh, yeah. In northern Arizona, we get a lot of snow. I'm at a higher elevation than Phoenix is in a valley. That's why they call it Valley of the Sun. So, yeah, it's just boiling hot. But once you get out of that valley, it's 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
I got you. Sweet. Learn something new every day.
I know. Get geography lessons free with me.
I love it. I love it.
But you know, over here in Georgia, we can have every season in the same day.
Yeah. Well, you're considered the South, right? Is that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I got some friends, and they're like Tennessee or whatever, and they're like, it could be raining and then sun and then tornadoes, and yeah, I'll stay here in Arizona.
You're good.
I don't care.
I hear you. Well, all right, tell us about that sweet drum set behind you right there.
Okay, well, that's just part of it, but that is a 1984 Tama Imperial Star, and I have a 1980 Ludwig Power Factory kit. Both of them are 10-piece double bass, which is what I like. But because I have my drum sets on racks, I rack everything. Mm-hmm. I can't get all the toms. I just can't get everything on the rack because, like, I have T-Rex arms. They're very short. So I have to have everything, turned in and turned up. And it's very, very specific for me. And a lot of guys they sit behind there and they can't play it because it's like, I've got hands like this. So, but I got that from, where did I get that from? Oh, from a girl in Phoenix, and I got the Power Factory kit online, sight unseen. And it's crazy beautiful. And then I customize it. I tweak it out pretty good.
Nice.
So I'm running. I got all my New Zealand Platinums on there, and then I've got on each of my kits, my right foot, I play Axis pedals. The old Axis from the 90s. That I still have, and then I have new trick pedals on my left, and I know it's crazy, but I like different pedals on my left than I do my right. So
okay,
it's a chick thing.
It's all good in the neighborhood. Yeah.
So as you can see, it's a fairly large room, and I got a big office and a desk and everything. This drum set takes up the whole room, so nice. I'm down to a 1-bedroom house. Basically, with this thing taking up the rest of the house.
I like it.
I do.
Sweet. So you just got a new endorsement. Tell everyone about all your endorsements.
Well, the first one that I got an endorsement from, I was living at my parents' ranch. I had to move down to a very remote ranch in northern Arizona to take care of my aging parents. And I had my drum set up because nobody could hear me but the moose and the deer and stuff. But so I wasn't really doing anything except, just learning. I was learning Zeppelin songs and stuff and trying to put a band together. But I was 6 hours away from Phoenix. It was a very remote place. So this guy reached out to me on Facebook. He liked what he saw with Whiskey Blu. And we came to an arrangement, and that was Sibby Siebert he's in Germany, and it was for Sky Gel damper pads. And then as I started to do stuff at the ranch, I wasn't able to do band stuff, but I was starting to work with guitarists would reach out to me on Facebook and say, hey, if I send you some songs, MP3s, can you put some drums to them or tell me what? So I started doing that quite a bit. And then I was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I wasn't doing anything over the top, but just starting to do stuff like that. And then I would do some backing tracks for local bands that were playing live, and they didn't want to tell their drummer that there was a girl drummer doing their backing track. So I just keep it on the down low. I don't ever go on and say a lot of what I'm doing. I like to, I guess, under promise and over deliver. So, but this last endorsement took a little bit of time because I've been using Vic Firth heavy metal end sticks forever. I was locked into that for 30 years. And the one thing about them, though, is they're really long and they're really heavy. Now, I like the length, and I like the girth of them, but they were heavy. So I asked them if they had a stick that was comparable, and they did. I mean, it's almost the exact same stick, but it's a lot lighter, so I don't have to do this.
Yep.
It's a little bit easier on my aging wrists. And they're great guys to work with. It's called Diamond Star Drumsticks. And I'm also doing pro player art for my custom drum heads. I always have custom drum heads. And these ones right here, you can't see them, but they're smudge. And I haven't revealed those yet because I'm actually working with Smudge the cat on me. So we're going to do a big reveal on these. But so pro player art, and also B&D makes my custom drum racks for me. I have a couple of custom drum racks. And I just, gosh, I love my endorsers. I think they're great people, and they're smaller companies. And so I get to know them.
Yep.
And I'm lucky because I'm not out there all the time like so many drummers are. I'm kind of doing things kind of hidden away. And then as we start talking, they know that I'm still working as a drummer, but I'm not doing anything until we start Wicked Kiss and actually start going on that. So they're very accommodating to me, and I'm really grateful for that.
Heck yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
That's crap.
Yeah. Very excited. I almost got a trick drum pedal endorsement, but it just, they're a big company and they've got some big, heavy touring drummers. And I said, look, I'm not touring yet. I don't know when I'm going to be touring. So, it didn't work out, but I still play their products.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, heck yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so tell us about the old days, back like when it was with Whiskey Blu and that time.
Oh, that was crazy. I have a lot of gaps in between my playing history, and which is clearly not ideal for a drummer, but it's just how it worked out. And there was a huge gap between when I taught myself to play the drums to listening to Motley Crue records. In fact, I know the first song I ever learned to play the drums was Looks at Kill. And so I was teaching myself to play in that era. And then it wasn't until the late 80s that I actually had my singer and I started to form the band. We knew we wanted it to be an all-female band because there was nothing. I mean, there was Vixen, and those type of things. But on local levels, there wasn't anything here. So we knew we wanted to do hard rock or heavy metal, kind of Motley Crue-ish.
Yep.
And so there was a 7-year gap between, I didn't even know I could play the drums, to be quite honest with you. I had never played in a band setting. So once we got into Whiskey Blu and just, started practicing, we got a management company that signed us real quick. And within 3 months of our first show, we won Best Band in Phoenix.
Nice.
I mean, so it happened so fast that we were all kind of still not learning our instruments, but learning how to play in a band. It was insane. It happened so fast. And I'll tell you, back in the good old days, here comes one of these stories. Being a girl in an all-female band was a double-edged sword. You can imagine in the late 80s, early 90s, You had guy bands that really kind of looked out for you and protected you, and they would put us as their opening band, and their crowd would see us. And so they really helped us. And then we had bands that refused to open up for us because we were girls. We had girl bands who would refuse to open up for us because they're not going to open up for another female band, even though they're coming to Arizona. And then we would have guy bands who would come in after we did our sound check. You know, we do our sound check, we get everything set up and taped off, and then we come back 2 hours later or whatever, and my drum mics would be hanging over my toms. The monitors would be shut off. Our guitarist mic would, you know, all the mics would be turned off. And then our road crew guys would go up and say, you know, what's going on? Like after the first song, and we'd send our road crew guys up, and half the board would be taped off with packing tape.
What?
And then, yeah, it was, you know, it was that time. And, you know, obviously it's gotten we would have guys that would walk up in front of the stage and flip us off. Like literally just stand there, you know, doing a double bird. And we just got to the point where it's like, we're better than you. And that's why you're in the audience at our show. So we're just going to do a double shot of Led Zeppelin. And so we were always under that mindset of having to do everything twice as good as the guys all the time. And so it made us that much better. It made us better musicians. It made us better business people. You learn a lot when you have to really, really fight your way through stuff. But we also had a lot of help because we were girls. So it was both ways. It was a crazy fun time though.
Oh yeah. I mean, I seen your video with MTV. I mean, that's cool as crap, you know.
That was really interesting, and it actually never got to MTV because after we signed our record contract and went over and played at the Gazzarri's, we played our record company showcase at Gazzarri's, and then we came back and we broke up. You know, we had a tour bus, we were booked on the Arsenio Hall, we had all this stuff that was going on. And then it just came to an end. And you know how it is. It's that fast, and you kind of have to pick up the pieces and move on. So
I got you.
So, and by that time, anyways, 92, 93, rock was dead. I mean, our style of music was dying because of grunge. Mm-hmm. So it was just a bad time. But when we got back together in 2008 for our reunion show, almost 900 people showed up. It was nice. It was such a fun time and nothing but great memories for me.
Heck yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was great. It was the start of my career as a drummer, and so everything I learned, the good, the bad, the ugly of the music scene, being a female drummer, whatever, it was all because of Whiskey Blu. I couldn't be more thankful for that.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you 100%. Yeah. I mean, you were talking, you're talking about the 80s. I mean, 80s is by far my favorite time in music. Yeah. I'm a big 80s metal guy. Yeah.
I'm a 70s girl because that's when I grew up. Uh-huh. So I still tend to play 70s style, and my drum sets are actually based on Bev Bevan from ELO.
Oh, okay.
And Mick Tucker from The Sweet. That's who I saw and their drum sets, and that's how I kind of modeled my setup. I knew I wanted it to be double bass, open heads, concert toms, the big everything, and it's kind of gone out of style, but I stick with it.
I love it.
I ain't gonna change.
No, please don't. Nope.
I have a suitcase drum set. It's gonna be the bigger the better.
Yep, I dig it.
But that's actually based on Bev Bevan from ELO and Mick Tucker from The Sweet.
Sweet, I like it. I totally do.
Yeah, me too. But 80s rock is kind of where we were playing in Whiskey Blu at that time. It was early 90s. Arizona was always several years behind the LA music scene. So while LA 80s rock was dying, the Phoenix scene was kind of heating up. So we're still kind of doing that 80s style of rock. And then, everything came to an end in the 90s.
I got you. I still think it's cool as crap that you're on MTV with. I think that's cool. That's so cool.
It was an interesting shoot. We were actually in an alleyway and the cops closed off both ends of the alleyways. And so our friends were all on the hood of their cars, like driving theater. And so you can tell in the video that we're looking at our friends because there are, beers and cigarettes and then the cops were watching us. And then it was actually in downtown Phoenix. It's no longer standing. It was behind a punk rock club called the Silver Dollar Club. They shut everything down. We had my drum set on a big wall that was kind of behind the alley. And then our road crew spray painted the graffiti on the alleyway for us. And of course, it started raining. So what you're not seeing is me in the rain on my drum set going, what do I do?
I hear you.
One camera on me and like one camera on the girls and we didn't have computers and cell phones and iPads and stuff. It was literally like a camera here and a camera there. And it actually never got finished. What you guys saw was not the finished product. It was just the only thing that I had to upload to YouTube at the time.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. It was actually never, we were just kind of in the beginning stages with our A&R guy doing the mixing for that. And then stuff happened.
I got you.
So, but that was a lot of fun and just crazy rock and roll days.
Mm-hmm. I totally dig it. I love the 80s.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And being in a girl band, it's like a tribal thing. I mean, it's you against everybody. There's so many people that were hoping you would fail, that were wishing you would fail. And then the people that really supported you, when we did that reunion show, they came out in Whiskey Blu shirts and they support you. Because they know what you went through to get there. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool as crap like that you got, I mean, like you said, Vixen, but I mean, you guys we're so unique. I mean, my God,
it wasn't intentional. I think it was just because of a look that we had or whatever. But a lot of the people in the music scene here kind of referred to us as the female Motley Crue.
Right.
Not that we were, snorting crack backstage and trashing hotel rooms. It was, I think, more just like we really kind of, we had hairspray and stuff and we tried to look good on stage, but we were actually rockers. And so it was nice to be compared to Motley Crue.
Yep.
Party.
Yep. I hear you.
Yeah, we didn't do much of that.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
That's a lie, but that's what I'm sticking to.
I got you.
Well, it's amazing how different things are now. I don't think a female band would get as many problems as you did.
No. Back then, like I said, there was a lot of animosity, especially among local musicians. Not all of them, but some of them. If you were doing better than they were, and we quickly went from, you had to play Tuesday through Saturdays back then with the same two bands. It was either us opening or us headlining and our headline or opening band. So you had the same two bands playing Tuesday through Saturday. And so you got to know people really well. You got to know the club owners, and the people would come out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to see you if they liked you. And when we first started playing out, we had a road crew. My drum tech was named Mr. Scary. And trust me, he was. And we would have to put him at the door, at the entrances of the bars, because people would walk in and see a female band on stage or setting up, and they would turn around and walk right back out in the parking lot to go to another bar. So, he's like 6'4", 350 pound, ZZ Top beard, no teeth, prison tattoos. And he'd be like, No. Come in. You got to see these girls. And they would come in. And by the end of the show, they're freaking out because we're playing Led Zeppelin, Pat Benatar, Joan Jett, Motley Crue, Aerosmith, Kiss, the whole thing, and our originals.
Right.
So, nowadays it's more specialized. You don't play Tuesday through Saturday, I don't think anymore. You play like Friday and Saturday or one or the other.
Right.
But it was sink or swim. You know what I mean? You were on the spot. And when we first started playing out, we were still really green as far as experience. Excuse me. And we had no clue what we were doing, like how to be professionals. We're kind of learning on the job. And so people are coming up to us and saying, oh, I work for this, handing us business cards and stuff. And you took everybody at your word. You're kind of naive. And they did not have good intentions. We started to get movie offers and people flying out from Hollywood with scripts for movies. And that's when we got a manager and an A&R company and a road crew to get the money from the club owners. And, when Mr. Scary is going up to the club owners saying, where's our $600? they're giving them $605 because,
Yeah.
But it's just a lot different. And females back then, the guys either loved him or they really, really hated us, and they really denigrated what we were doing. You're okay for girls, or, why do you have such a big drum set? Why do you need it? It's like, because I have to put on a show.
Wow.
I'm a girl. Yeah. I can't go up there with a 3-piece set. I have to go up there and we have to look serious.
Mm-hmm.
And intimidating, because the guys would intimidate you. And, unfortunately, now it's called, you can lawsuit people.
Yeah.
But back then it was common practice. And so now girls, are 6 years old and they're like they're doing Bonham stuff, and they're learning, they're going to percussion school and they're getting degrees in percussion. And back then I was on my own. I didn't have drum teachers. I didn't know rudiments. I had no one to help me.
Yep.
So it was learn. And because we got so popular so fast, it was like, you better learn, and you better learn fast, because if you make a mistake, everybody in the audience is going to hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Mm-hmm. And we would have write-ups in the papers. We had several rock papers here, and thankfully they liked us a lot. So they would do really favorable. You got to check out these girls. Whiskey Blu's in town. You got to check them out. And so we had a lot of allies back then, which I'm really thankful for.
Oh yeah, that's awesome scrap.
Nowadays, as a woman, I don't think you need protection as much as you did back then. I think you still do, but it's not nearly as bad as it was.
Right. I have actually seen a good bit of female band. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No.
You see a lot more. Female drummers are not the oddity that they were. I think there's still an oddity in a female rock drummer, but Annika Niles, there's so many great drummers, and they're educators now, and they run, media companies, and they represent drum companies now and stuff. And they're heads of drum companies. And back then, you just didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It was a grind.
I hear you.
Yeah, it was bad.
Hope that everything continues to get better.
Yeah. On that, It's there. I don't think you can go backwards. I don't think Pandora's box is open. I don't think women are going to go back.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And now we have guys like you guys and so many other guys that are allies. They're allies with us now instead of our competition.
Exactly. That whole thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Guys are allies in our fight, and back then you had a few allies, but man, you had some enemies. It was awful.
Yeah, they were just totally jealous and all, you know.
It was jealousy, and it was, and not, I don't excuse the behavior, but they weren't used to it.
Right, right.
So when you're not used to something, you tend to attack it, you know, whatever it is in life. And, you know, I'm sure in the 70s and 80s, it was worse, and as it kind of got better and better and better, and things just get better.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you had mentioned the 70s. Who was your favorite 70s classic rock band?
Woo!
If you had
Oh, man. Okay, now don't laugh.
You're good.
My top three bands of all time, they happen to be 70s bands, but these are like people, you know, do the 10. Who's your favorite drummer? Who's your top 10? Is Abba number one.
Okay.
I'm an Abba fanatic. I have an Abba tattoo with Dancing Queen. I'm an absolute fanatic of Abba, and a lot of really personal reasons for that.
Okay.
Number 2 and 2A, like right close together, is ELO.
Okay.
And the Carpenters. Karen Carpenter is the reason I'm a female drummer.
Nice.
I could talk this whole interview. I could talk about what Karen Carpenter means to me. I mean, honestly, I'm an absolute fanatic. But those three, like, really, really mean a lot to me personally in my life. But when you get below that, I think my favorite band would be Abba. Mm-hmm. My favorite classic rock band is going to be ELO, and right underneath ELO is The Sweet.
I gotcha.
I mean, and Led Zeppelin is going to be in there somewhere as far as classic rock. I liked all that Journey, Foreigner, the Cars, but probably ELO and The Sweet are going to be right there.
I got you, and there is nothing wrong with that.
No. And then there's the 70s heavy metal: Iron Maiden, Saxon, Judas Priest. You know, those are right up there as far as the heavy rock, heavy metal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you go. It's going to be Abba all the way, number one.
There is nothing wrong with that.
Not surprising, but nothing wrong with that.
In fact, I get a lot of compliment. This guy at the gym saw me pull up the other day, and my front license plate is Iron Maiden. So I get out, and I've got like a Saxon tank top on, and I'm rolling into the gym like a badass. And then he had gone out to look at my truck, and on the back, I have an Abba license plate, and then I have a big sticker in my back window for the Carpenters. He's like, "What's wrong with you?"
Wow.
Nothing's wrong with me. It's you know, it's great music.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like Wendy O. Williams and the Plasmatics. I listen to the Plasmatics on my iPod. I'm rocking and rolling and doing the punk rock thing, and then, you know, Neil Diamond comes on, and I'm totally happy.
I hear you.
That's what I loved about the 70s, is you had every type of music. I love Gladys Knight and the Pips is one of my favorites. Like,
gotcha.
I liked disco. I'm a huge disco fan, and I actually play disco-inspired drums. I like that 4 on the floor. I'm not a fancy drummer. I like the 4 on the floor, that bass drum going, and that's from the Bee Gees, and it's from Chic and Donna Summer, stuff like that. So that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
I like it. There's nothing wrong.
I like it too.
You're being you, and that's cool. I like that.
It's original.
I hear you. You know what? I would say my different one, if you will, that people might be like, "What the hell?" would be I've heard people make fun of them, but whatever. But I like Yanni. You know.
Oh, I know tons of musicians who like Yanni.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I like Collective Soul.
I got you.
I thought they were brilliant, and Smash Mouth. I mean, you know, I listen to them all the time. Yanni's he's quite brilliant.
I think so.
And I tend to listen to classical types rock because of ELO. So I have that ear for that stuff. But you know, if it came from the 70s, I'm a fan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
80s is right up there, but 70s, no, you got to give it to the 70s.
Yeah. My favorite in the 70s is Kansas. I love my Kansas.
Oh, I love Phil is such an underrated drummer. He's so underrated. I saw them live and he never got the credit he should have deserved. I mean, just.
Nope, he doesn't. Nope.
Have you heard their new stuff?
I have. It's all good.
It's all good. It is. It's really good. I love Kansas.
Oh yeah, I do too. Yeah, and see, that's cool as crap. Yeah, I mean, and like you said, he really is underrated. You don't. I mean.
Oh my God, he's never on anyone's list.
Nope.
Ever. And the guy was amazing. He was doing like Carl Palmer stuff before Carl Palmer was doing it. Mm-hmm. You know. So man, I love him. But Kansas, I'm a big Styx fan. I love Todd Sucherman, and I also love their original drummer. Those drums are not my style of drumming, but those drums are really candy to my ear. That style of drumming from Styx, Todd Sucherman is just, forget it.
I hear you.
I just give up. Like, I totally just give up.
I hear you.
I'll turn in my drumsticks right now because some of these drummers are just outrageous.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good Lord. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they're young. I've got a friend on my Facebook who posts covers of him doing like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. He's 9 years old.
Yep.
And he's fabulous. He's a great kid. And it's like, when I didn't even get started in Whiskey Blu until I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
That's how long I waited until I started. And now it's like, 2 years old and they've got drumsticks in their hand.
Right. Oh, you're exactly right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nuts.
And I don't get jealous of people. I just kind of, I don't look back and regret, but I do regret not having that opportunity. As a young girl, those opportunities weren't given. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could have I wish I could have been kind of brought up in this environment where I want a drum set, you're 4 years old and you can start banging around. And I actually didn't start holding a pair of sticks until I was in my 20s.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, except for JV band in high school. And after 1 year, they told me that girls were not allowed to play varsity drums, and they told me to quit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was the music teacher that told me to quit because I would never be anything but on a snare drum in the cafeteria in JV band. And once the senior drummer left, he graduated. I was the only drummer in school. And he said, nope, we're not going to give it to a girl. And they got a transfer student that came in like a junior. Yeah. Oh, it was awful.
Jeez. Yeah.
So
How did they justify that?
Because it was the 70s, I don't know. It was that era. And it really hurt my feelings. And as a young girl, it's an adult. He's a music teacher. Mm-hmm. Maybe I wasn't good enough to warrant getting the drum set. That wasn't the reason, but so I just went about my life and I didn't even think about the drums until I heard Motley Crue, Looks to Kill. Until that album came out, I thought, I can do this. I can do this now. I know I can be good enough as a drummer to do this because I do have some rudimentary skills. And I mean rudimentary skills.
I got you.
So I just taught myself to play. And like I said, there was no computers, there was no nothing. It was literally crank a stereo, run, grab my drums, put the album on or whatever, and just jump in and start playing it.
Yep, exactly.
So I have Tommy Lee to thank for that.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks, Tommy.
I hear you. But that's cool, though. See, I like that raw, that. But you know what? And Barb, by the way, you're a badass. So you're.
Thank you. Your check is in the mail. I promise.
Yes.
I owe you big money. I'm sure for that.
So tell us about Wicked Kiss.
Okay, so I can't reveal too much.
I got you.
We're keeping all what we're doing on the download because you know how social media can get.
Right.
So COVID really kind of did us a big favor because it gave us a year. I know it was terrible for so many musicians, but it actually gave us a year to start recording, to rework our set list, rework the band. It gave me the opportunity to learn how to self-publish, how to copyright everything, how to do trademarks. Mm-hmm. So I was able to jump in with all that time and learn. I took music business courses online and got certifications like music law, music business. You know, who knew about Netflix and how to get your music? And we didn't know there was ever going to be shows again. So how do you get your music out there? You know, so I had to learn about social media, how to advertise, who your target. You know, we were all doing that while we were working on the band. But the basic premise of the band is we're going to be a cover band until we start getting our originals done, which we're working on. But my little sister is my lead singer. Oh. And she too came along very late in life. But she followed me around when we were growing up. So when she was a little kid, she listened to Abba and The Sweet and ELO. That's what she grew up with. Mm-hmm. And Styx and Journey. And then when she was in those formative years in the 80s, she grew up on Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. So she had that love of music with me. And then she started singing really, really late in life. And she's really good. She can do pop, she can do rock, she can do metal. So we kind of wanted to do a different type of a tribute band where we're not just going to do, like, if we're going to do a Journey song, let's say, mm-hmm. we're not going to do the Journey song that everyone else does.
Right.
It's going to be a well-known song, so people will know it, but it might not be what you expect. Right. We're also going to kind of, because Kathy's more pop and danceable type of rock, we're going to be doing like Linda Ronstadt type stuff, but more deep cut Linda Ronstadt and high energy, all high energy. And then we're going to have male heavy metal singers come in and we're going to do Mob Rules by Sabbath. Because okay. I'm a hard rock metal drummer. So we've got hard rock metal musicians in the band too. Yep. And we're going to do Beastie Boys, and we're going to do Motley Crue and Judas Priest. And so and then we're going to change songs all the time. So if something's not working or if it's whatever, or there's so many songs to choose from because we got males and females. Yep. You also have the female drummer. You have a female fronted band. So it's very women empowered band. Not that the guys don't mean anything, but it's time for women to kind of use our voices now. And you've also got the sister thing. And we've got some really cool backstories to go along with how this band was created and stuff. So
sure, yeah.
It's just going to be fun. And it's a passion project for us. We've always talked about working together. And because of COVID, we got to do it. And so we're kind of laying the foundations and we're kind of getting there. And we've got a lot of cool stuff coming this year. I promise you.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. I can promise you this year is going to be very hectic for us.
I hear you. Yeah, it's like a buffet of stuff you got going.
we got a whole stuff we're going to put out. But we're going to make sure that when we put stuff out, it's not halfway done. It's not cheap looking. It's not cheap sounding. We're not going to put anything out or live stream until everything is not perfect, because we're not perfect.
Right.
No one's perfect. But we want it to be top notch, top production, top everything.
Yep.
And because we take it seriously, although we have a lot of fun. Like our practices are insane. Prank on each other. We call each other names. We're, kicking each other's equipment, but but we're also serious about what we're doing, but we have a lot of fun, a lot of hijinks. And we're serious, and we've got some serious top-notch musicians in the band. And we want to give 110%. We don't want to go out and look like crap on stage. So we've got you know what I mean? Right. We don't want our pictures. Okay, so you guys are going to laugh, but I've always had this thing that kind of irritates me, even going back to the 80s and 70s. The band pictures where they're all standing against a wall, when we had to put flyers out on windshields, and all the guys have sunglasses on and they're just like, right. We're not going to do that. We're going to.
We're not gonna. Exactly. I hear you.
Okay.
We want to do different stuff, a little bit more stylized, and I think that's a kind of a woman's touch, kind of a woman's thing where you have a chance to stand out. So we want to put the things that make us stand out on display, but we don't want to do what everyone else is doing at the same time.
Exactly.
And it's fun. We have a lot of fun, but we're deadly serious about what we're going to be doing.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you got to be sure to contact us when you release
something. You guys will get a copy of whatever we're doing. I'll send you guys a copy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There might be vinyl involved.
Oh.
No, it's not an album. We're gonna, because we were working on one particular song that was a Whiskey Blu song, and it was a massively beloved song, and that is going to be what we're releasing first. And we don't know. I mean, at some point we may do an EP, but right now we're trying to finish one big thing and then work on this and then work on this, and then whatever COVID happens, we'll roll with the punches on that. But this is going to be a female-centric band. I told the guys, I'm like, I hope you guys don't have massively huge egos. And none of them do. They all recognize that we have a window because we're not young. I am not a young woman anymore. So you have a window now where females are kind of in charge in some ways of what they're doing. And we want to make sure that, if girls see us or women see us and they see a crazy female drummer with a crazy big set, drumsticks and hair flying, and then, going from rock to pop, we may throw in some disco. We may throw in some Bee Gees and just people dancing and girls dancing and everyone having a good time. And then maybe right after we do the Bee Gees, we do Mob Rules by Sabbath. How awesome is that? I mean,
I dig it.
I dig it. Yeah.
No, not a lot of people can do that, but we have the makeup of the band and we have the pop background, and then me and some of the guys have a rock metal background. So it's like, why not do both? Like, who says you can't do both?
I hear you.
There's no one to tell us now. Like when we were in Whiskey Blu, we were told by the people that we had working for us, you got to do this. You got to dress like this. Your guitarists have to do, these moves like this. And now it's like, no. No.
I hear you. Yeah. Heck yeah.
No. And by the way, for the drummer fans out there, I just got a Porter and Davies Bc2 Drum Throne. If you don't know what it is, look it up. Yeah. I'm going to make you look it up. It's called the Bc2. It's the big package, and it actually has its own flight case with a monitoring system in. So when you're playing the drums, your drum sounds are coming up through your stool, not by a speaker under your stool, like a speaker that they have. This is actually coming up through the top of the stool. And if I want to, so if I'm in a situation where, because I have a little bit of hard hearing in one of my ears, so in-ears tend to make me not happy. So I kind of like monitors. So if something's screwed up with the monitor, I can actually have the singer or the guitarist running through my drum stool.
Wow.
Because I play loud.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm really, really loud. I'm not a finesse drummer. Okay. So, like, I'm not going to be invited to sit in with a big band or a jazz band or a church band anytime soon. So, I'm very loud. And so I tend to, that's all I can hear is myself.
I got you.
So check out the Porter and Davies Bc2 because you're going to flip when you see this.
What?
Yeah, you're going to be like, what is this?
Heck yeah, that's cool as crap. I like it. I dig it.
Yeah, I do too.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, but as a guy that records drums, I'd rather have somebody play loud.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure you've had plenty of drummers where I'm more raw. When we've been recording, to be honest with you, this was the first time I've ever had to record to a click track.
Gotcha.
Because when we were recording in Whiskey Blu, it was live recording. We would get into the studio, all of us would be in the same room, and they'd say, okay, go. Now everything would be mic'd, and they, have like an 8-track or whatever, a soundboard, but it was live. And that's all I knew. So, all these years later, again, I'm having to learn all this technology and all this stuff. And I'm kind of old school, I was kind of brought up old school and I kind of think old school. So when we went in to record, I had to use his drum set just because it was a lot easier than taking this in pieces and setting it up. So I get in there. Now he's got a Yamaha recording custom, so you can't, but it was set up to where like the toms were over here. It was a single bass and the right cymbal was over here. And as you can see where my right cymbal is,
Right.
so it was like, okay, well, I'll, I know the song inside and out. I can adjust to where everything's set up. But then he's like, here's your click track. And I'm like, huh? And so I think after about the first or second take, I was on the click track, but just maybe like in one different spot, like towards the end, it was just a little bit behind or a little bit in front. But probably by around the third take, I was able to be on the click track all the way through, and it was a save that take. That's it. And then we would just do some other run throughs to make sure. Okay, well maybe this take on my double bass drum sounds a little bit louder. But I was playing loud. I mean, I was like,
yep,
I'm paying for it.
Yep.
I'm going to play as loud as I want, but it actually, it's going to sound great, and that's all I can say about that.
Sweet.
It's sounding awesome. I can't wait.
Heck yeah.
Now, I got a question now.
Yeah.
Like, I know how I do it in my studio. Like, the way we usually do it is I get the guitarist in first with the click track, and he plays with that. Then we usually lay down the drums after that.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing that? I mean, what order are you
honestly, the reason why we did the drums first on this particular song is because this was actually one of the first songs we wrote in Whiskey Blu. This is an original Whiskey Blu song. And I won't tell you the story behind how we wrote it, but there was some drinking involved. And it is a very drum-centered song.
I got you.
Not that there is some crazy drumming, and I won't give away too much. There's some crazy drumming on the second half of the song. It's like Living After Midnight. It's not difficult drums, but those drums are that song. And this song is centered on the drum beat, and the drum beat is driving. Everything else on the song is kind of on top of the drums, but everything's going off of the drums. So in order for everything, and we've got a special guest player on this record. Again, I can't say who.
I got you.
As soon as I tell you, you'll know.
Oh.
Yeah. In fact, I might have mentioned the band in this previous interview.
Oh.
And that's all I'm saying. Otherwise, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And So everything was kind of, it has to go off the drum beat, and it's really kind of hard to explain, but I think when you hear the song, you'll know why the drums had to be the first thing recorded.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? In order for it to sound like I wanted it to sound, and I was the one that wrote this, helped write the song, and I've been playing it for 30 years, it was like, I know how I wanted it to sound, but we're kind of doing it in a different way than we did 30 years ago. So it's going to kind of be an updated version, but it's layered on top of the drums. And no matter what anyone else is doing on the songs, the drums are like pocket. It's like a pocket like you can't even imagine. So
Yep.
Yeah. And so I was happy to do my drums first, actually, and lay that down, because I knew once they started recording and everything, it was going to just sound insane with that drum beat going just like this the whole time. Cracking snare, like the snare is just cracking. It's like Bonham sounding snare is how we recorded that. Just on I think it was a 13 or 14 inch. It wasn't much bigger than that, but.
Nice.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Dang, I want to hear this now.
Yep.
You guys will get your copy.
Oh,
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I hear you. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden or Judas Priest? Which one? If you had to choose.
Oh, God, someone's going to kill me.
Because they're both good. So.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat on this one. So, me as a drummer, Judas Priest, all the way.
I got you.
Dave was like, that's the style of drums I like. I still play. Is that Living After Midnight? He was more of this.
Yep.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff in Screaming for Vengeance and stuff, but it wasn't that. Nico McBrain and I think actually Clyde Burr is more pleasant to my ear as a drummer, although Nico is just, my God, he's an idol of mine. But it's as me as a drummer, my ear hears things I think a little bit different than most people. And it's if I know I can play the drums, if I can play those drums, then I will like that style of drumming, and I can play Judas Priest drums, whereas Iron Maiden is tough.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can play some Iron Maiden. I can play 2 Minutes to Midnight and some of the, but Iron Maiden is more this and a lot of cymbal works and stuff, whereas Dave Holland was just like.
I got you.
So I can hear it, I can air drum it, and if I can air drum it, I can play it on my drum set, and that's how I learned the drums. I listen, I start to air drum it, I'll add in my foot, and then I will take it to my drums. And if I can air drum it, I can play it.
I got you.
Now, I do know how to read drum music. So if we're working on a song and it's like, I'm not quite sure what he's doing on the bass drum, and I kind of want to get it as close as I can if we're going to be playing it live. I'll get the sheet music. I know how to read it. So, he's on 1 and 3 or whatever it is. And then I don't play everything absolutely the way. I'll kind of barbarize it. I'll animalize it just a little bit, just to kind of make it my own a little bit. But Judas Priest drum-wise, I think band-wise, I'm going to give it just a little bit to Iron Maiden because they've got Power Slave.
I got you. Yep, great one. Yep.
I mean, and Number the Beat. I mean, there's so many great songs on both sides, but I think as a band, I'll just slightly take Iron Maiden because of Power Slave.
I got you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think that's a very good assessment.
Yeah.
I have to cheat because I want my cake and eat it too.
Hey, I hear you.
But I got into Judas Priest long before I got into Maiden. I was late to the Maiden party. So I'm still in that honeymoon. Maiden just kills it, but I was way into Judas Priest in the 70s. Sad Wings of Destiny, and then, here and even Turbo Lover. I mean, Judas Priest was it.
Oh, great band, yeah.
And then I found Maiden.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I hear you.
And I'm friends with the drummer. I know Linda McDonald from the Whiskey Blu days, from the Iron Maidens.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh gosh, they're phenomenal. And so I've actually been more exposed now in my later years to Iron Maiden more than Judas Priest, because I think Iron Maiden's more, they're making albums and they're touring constantly, and it's like
right.
I've seen them a lot. I've seen them more than Judas Priest now. So
right. I mean, speaking of Iron Maiden, I think it's so unique that Bruce is also the pilot. Man, that's crazy. Yeah.
Just and Nico McBrain is amazing. It's just not my style of drumming, so I'm more inclined to want to play drums to Judas Priest. It's just a little bit easier for me to hear, I think.
Right.
Except Scott Travis is wow. Scott Travis and Ram It Down and just yeah.
See, I'm like you. See, I'm a drummer. Actually, drums is actually my main instrument. But I'm just like you. We're identical. I like it very...
Except for the beard.
Not too technical,
I shaved mine today, so...
So, but yeah, I mean, we're a lot similar with that. I like, can I do all the technical stuff? Yes. But I like by my ears... Yeah. Very simplistic.
Yeah, yes. I'm a pocket drummer.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes from, and I'm still teaching myself to play the drums. You can't see it, but I've got the old Carmen Appice, the classic rock instruction book that he did, that he's kind of upgraded now. I mean, I just got the Motley Crue greatest hits digital downloads, because I'm going to go back and relearn all that Motley Crue, because I kind of forgot it. So, and I'm teaching myself to play. I always wanted to learn to play the drum intro for Ballroom Blitz. I mean, the best song ever. And I never could figure out what he was doing, because I wasn't exposed to shuffles and things like that. When I finally found someone who explained what shuffle, showed it to me. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know it was a shuffle pattern, because I don't know about, but I can play it now. I learned to play the shuffle patterns. Cross that off my list. I wanted to play the drums to Peg by Steely Dan. It's not difficult, but it's a little bit tricky. Cross that off my list. I taught myself how to play that. So I'm constantly learning, but to me, I'm a 4-on-the-floor drummer. I'm a pocket drummer.
Right.
I let the front people, the guitarist, do their solos, and the front person, and I'm just in the back looking like a crazy person, and I'm not in it for glory or ego. I just want to play the drums and not screw up.
Right. I got you. Yeah. I'm like you. I really do. I like simplistic.
I do too.
Straightforward.
Yeah. And you can do different things. You can still do 1 and a 3 and a 2 on the 4 on the bass, but you can do something, a little hi-hat thing, or you can do a little accent on something. And to me, one of the hardest things to do as a drummer is, there's a lot of guys that can, and girls that can do that whole Nico McBrain thing.
Right.
But get them in a studio or something, and they find it hard to play an AC/DC.
Right.
Drum beat for a 4-minute song over and over and over. And that's my preference, is to play a really loud, hard AC/DC style of drum.
Yep.
And then, I'm not saying I don't throw some things in every once in a while. But I'm not one of those blast beat double bass drummers like this. I do some triplets on the double bass drums, just something a little bit interesting. But then it fits.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in the groove.
Yeah. And so I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I just keep thinking about British Steel.
Great one.
Like the drums in that.
Yeah, great one.
It's not it's not Buddy Rich. It's not, Houses of the Holy type of stuff. But man, I mean, to hear just 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 like that, and then you've got those twin. You're kind of hearing the twin leads and his voice, and then the drummer's just back there, just hard and heavy. And that's how I learned. Now I have to bring up Karen Carpenter because she's my soul. Karen Carpenter, when I was a really little kid, I saw Karen Carpenter one day on TV playing the drums, like on the Mike Douglas show or something. I'm aging myself, I know, but so Mike Douglas, that's bad. But anyway, so they were just starting, it was probably 1970, 71. And I saw her, and she wasn't playing, it was just like, close to you or something, just little, probably a rim click on the snare. And I was just mesmerized. I thought that was with that Vista-Light kit. And then she's singing the way that she sings, and she's playing the drums. And then when you actually saw Karen doing a drum solo, I mean, she wasn't a heavy player. She wasn't heavy-handed. It's mind-blowing. I could never play that. I've got bad wrists. I'm very heavy-handed. When I was on the tennis team in high school, and I held my tennis racket like a baseball bat. Like literally, I was like just standing at the net going like this. So I'm very heavy-handed, and I don't have the wrist flexibility. And she's just wailing on these drums and singing the way she's singing. And Karen Carpenter is the reason I think any of us are playing the drums as women. I mean,
gotcha.
I mean, it's just, and I'm not jealous of people that can play like her. I really, really appreciate it.
Right.
I can't do it. Not can't, but it's just not my style. But Karen Carpenter, when I saw her, I said, that's going to be me. That's going to be me someday. And I took a longer journey than I wanted it to, or ever thought it would. I thought I was going to be a rock star by the time I was in high school. It just took a really, really long time for it to come together. But I don't, Karen Carpenter, she's amazing. And honestly, it's the God's honest truth. Every time I pick up a drumstick, even if it's just to move my drums around or reconfigure them, I think of Karen.
I got you.
I hear Karen, I see Karen, and I picture Karen in my mind, and that's exactly why I play the drums. It's her.
There's nothing wrong with that. I like it.
It's Karen Carpenter. I have my drum influences, how I play, how I sound, how I look. Karen Carpenter is actually why I'm behind the drums at all.
Nice.
Wow. Now I'm gonna go listen to her now.
And some I'm looking at it right now. I have a Karen Carpenter calendar. But if you really want to see a drummer, she did a live album. They did a live album at the London Palladium, and I think it's 1976, called Live at the Palladium. And you want to hear a drum solo? If you didn't know she was a woman, and she was singing while she's doing it with that voice, you would swear it was Buddy Rich, Hal Blaine. You would not know the difference.
Right.
Wow.
She's that good. But, on her, on the Carpenter songs, a lot of times she's just playing this with a nice little fill, nothing too heavy. And then she wails. She absolutely blows people away. She was voted best drummer by Rolling Stone in 1975. And John Bonham was number 2.
I got you.
If you remember that big brouhaha, and that was actually voted by the readers of Rolling Stone, who, it's so weird because it was such a bad time for women musicians, and they voted her over John Bonham, and Bonham was not happy.
I got you.
He was not. He was really that was really pissed him off, I think. But Karen Carpenter won Best Drummer in 1975.
Wow. God bless her. Yeah.
She was Buddy Rich's favorite drummer.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, I just want to say something. You talk about showing your age. You do not look your age, by the way. So I thought that.
Hey, look, yeah, I'm on ARP, but my age, My age has never been an issue with me. Like sometimes it is physically wise because, you know, you get a bursitis in your shoulder as a drummer, as a bodybuilder and all this stuff, like your age creeps up. I've got bad wrists, bad joints, bad this, bad this. But because of the style I play, I can wing it with strength and you know, flexibility has never been great with me, but it's certainly not now. But what are you going to do?
Right.
I'm still playing. I'm still going to play until I can't play anymore.
I totally dig that. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really admire all the women drummers that have come up now and just, they're so good and they're technical and they just know so much and there's no jealousy on my end. There never has been. It's just amazement. Like,
oh, yeah. Amen to that. Amen.
I mean, I wish I could have had the instruction, but other than that, I don't beat myself up over crap I can't control.
Right. Well, Barb, guess what?
Yeah.
You're a badass.
Yep.
And we're going to end it with that right there.
Okay.
Barb, thank you so much.
Yes.
And talking with us. Seriously.
Absolutely. Anytime, baby. Anytime.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. And I'll definitely let everybody know when this goes up, you're going to have a lot of eyes on it.
Love it. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
And send me, just for me too, send me any links and anything you want me to look at, subscriptions, if you know, anything that you want me to subscribe to, I'll get the word out and we'll go from there.
Oh, thank you, Barb.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are a sweetheart.
Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'll send you each $50 for all the compliments that you
free.
Compliments are free.
That's it. Barb, thank you. Have a great one. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Dallas. Go Dallas.
Have a good one.
Bye.
The Henry-Kern Show would like to thank our friends Kruse Effects, Slip Check Records, Pick World Guitar Picks,
And of course, Nebulous Music Studios in Royston, Georgia.